Hi, Matt with eTrailer, and today we're talking about our custom fit eTrailer Class 4 hitch on our 2022 Chevrolet Express van. Now this is going to be a great way if you want to get some extra accessories on your van, whether that be a bike rack or anything else like that, or if you want to haul any trailers and use this for a work van. So let's take a closer look at it. Our hitch today goes in pretty easy. It just bolts right up to the frame of your vehicle. And we're going to have these exposed cross tubes, and in the center here is our 2-inch hitch receiver. Now the system overall is going to be rated up to 10,000 pounds for towing and 1,000 pounds for your tongue weight. Now if you're using this with a weight distribution system, that's going to go up to 12,000 pounds for towing and then 1,200 pounds for your tongue. You'll notice we have a hole on each side, and that's going to be our holes for our safety chains, and they're going to be flat too. And they're going to provide plenty of room to get our clevis hooks on here and our S hooks too, as you can see right here. And right next to that, we're going to have this 5/8 hole, and that's going to be for a pin and clip. Now this system does not come with a pin and clip, so you'll have to purchase one separately. You guys can find those on our websites too. Now we're going to get a few measurements. The first one is going to be a ground clearance. So I'm going to go from the ground to the top of the inside of our receiver. And that's going to be just over 16 inches. So that measurement's important. So when you are hooking up to a trailer, you know if you need any rise or drop. Next thing I'm going to get is going to be our distance from our pinhole to the edge of our bumper. And that's going to be about 4.5 inches, which isn't too bad. It's something to keep in mind if you have a fold-up accessory and how it interacts on the back of your bumper. Overall, I think this is going to be a great option for you if you do plan on using it for those additional accessories on the back of your vehicle, or if you do plan on using it for a work vehicle too. Now, we've had neighbors in the past also use it to haul some horses, as junk trailers, or other options like that. As far as the installation goes, it's pretty straightforward. All you gotta do is drop in your hardware and bolt your hitch onto it, so it's pretty easy. But if you do need a hand with it, just stay tuned and we'll walk you through it. To start off our installation today, we're gonna have our vehicle lifted so you can get a better view at what we're gonna be doing. But you can do this at home on the ground. If you are doing it on the ground, I just recommend if you have it on any ramps, make sure you chock your wheels and keep it in park. But let me show you where we're going to start off with. The first part is we're going to be installing our hardware through these holes. You're going to have multiple ones on the bottom of here. And you'll notice we have these big cutouts on the sides. That's going to make this next process a lot easier. The way that's going to work is by dropping this carriage bolt right into the spacer. It'll help it lock into place. The way you'll just do that is by laying the spacer right in here, lining it up with that hole, and putting your bolt right through that too. Now the exact holes we're going to be using today are going to be these two front ones, and then the front hole on the rear area. And you'll just repeat that process with the other two spacers and bolts on this side, and then you do the exact same thing for the other side. And one more thing to note is when you put this spacer and carriage bolt in here, you want to make sure that that spacer is flat on here. So if there's anything underneath it, just move it around until it sits on here flush. For this next step, I recommend grabbing a friend. That's going to make this a lot easier. We're going to lift our hitch up and line it up with our bolts. Sometimes I'll help guide the bolt through here so it sits up here a little bit better. Once everything's in place, I'm going to grab one of our nuts and guide that on here until it can thread and help hold this up for me. And after when you have it up here, you just repeat that process, threading on those two other locking flange nuts, and do the same thing on the other side too. Now we're going to grab a 3/4 inch socket and wrench and tighten these down a little bit more. They feel pretty tight. You just do this process for all 6 of the nuts. And our last step is going to be torquing this for the rest of the way down. Those specs will be in your installation manual. And if you don't have one, you can buy one of those on our website, or you can go to one of your local hardware stores and see if you can rent one out. Once you have everything torqued down, that'll do it for the installation and some of the features of the eTrailer Class 4 hitch on our 2022 Chevrolet Express van.